What's up, guys? You're watching JamBoy TV, and we are back with another reaction. Today we'll be reacting to The Last Resort by Eagles. This is suggested by a patron, so you know how to check it out. If you are a returning viewer to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button. It helps out the channel a ton. There are 100,000 of you guys that watch my videos and return to my videos, but over 85% of you guys are not subscribed. I know it can be easy to forget because my videos just pop up. I do the same thing sometimes. If this is your first time to the channel, I am new to the rock genre, exploring the mini classic rabbit holes, having a blast. If you want to join me on that journey, take a second to scroll down, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and turn on your post notifications so that you don't miss a video when I post. It helps out the channel tremendously, and if you guys are interested in exclusive content or you want to ensure that I react to your suggestions, definitely consider checking out the Patreon. The link will be in the description. I have tons of reactions to classic songs that got blocked here from YouTube, songs that I know you guys would enjoy. That being said, let's get right into this video.
She came from Providence, one in Rhode Island, where the old world shadows hang heavy in the air. She packed her hopes and dreams like a refugee, just as her father came across the sea. Heard about a place people were smiling. They spoke about the red man's way, how they loved the land. And they came from everywhere to the great divide, seeking a place to stand or a place to hide. Down in the crowded bars, out for a good time. Can't wait to tell you all what it's like up there. They call it paradise, I don't know why. Somebody laid the mountains low while the town got high. Chilly winds blew down across the desert, through the canyons of the coast to the Malibu, where the pretty people play, hungry for power, to light their neon way, give them things to do. Rich men came and raped the land. Nobody caught them. Put up a bunch of ugly boxes, and Jesus people bought them. They called it paradise, the place to be. They watched the hazy sun sinking in the sea. sail to Lahaina, just like the missionaries did so many years ago. They even brought a neon sign, Jesus is coming. They brought the white man's burden down, brought the white man's rain. Who will provide the grand design? What is yours and what is mine? 'Cause there is no more new frontier. We have got to make it here. We satisfy our endless needs and justify our bloody deeds in the name of destiny and in the name of God.
Man, what a deep and beautiful song by the Eagles. The tone and like the energy of this song really had a message to send. It felt like there was some sorrow in there, some yearning, and really just a solemnness. This was really slow burn and gentle, and I feel like they took their time so that you could feel like the emotions that was being expressed in here. They wanted you to internalize what they were saying. I enjoyed the bass line and the riffs. The drums were really simple on this one. One of my favorite parts was when that slide guitar came in. That's one of my favorite instruments to hear. I also really enjoyed the piano in the first half of this song, just churning away. The second half of this song was a bit more intense with just like the violins kind of like filling the space. And towards the end, there was like a synthesizer that came in. I really enjoyed that touch. And of course, Don Henley did a great job delivering this one with that passion. Like I said, he had a message he wanted you to think about. With that being said, let's go ahead and check out these lyrics. He said, she came from Providence, one in Rhode Island, where the old world shadows hang. Heavy in the air, she packed her hopes and dreams like a refugee, just as her father came across the sea. So he's setting the scene here with a girl that comes from an immigrant family. He's talking about the feeling of the history that still looms there as like the original 13 colonies or whatever. He said the old world shadows still hang there. So just like the feeling of that, you know, British colonialism still remains. And this girl has similar values as her father, as she wants to like travel and like, you know, better her life. Or he said he packed her hopes and dreams, and she wants to move where there's even more opportunity. Next verse, he says, she heard about a place, people were smiling, they spoke about the red man man's ways, and how they loved the land, and they came from everywhere to the great divide, seeking a place to stand or a place to hide. So basically she's hearing about things that are going on out west. So it seems like this girl is like a pretty early immigrant, maybe during the time where the country was still being like established, because he talks about the conversations that are going on here, and it has to do with the Native Americans and what they're doing out west. He said some of them were seeking a place to stand and others were seeking a place to hide. So they were trying to escape the colonization happening on the East Coast. So it seems like this story is going to be getting into the history. Next verse he says, down in the crowded bars, out for a good time, can't wait to tell you all what it's like up there. And they called it paradise, I don't know why. Someone laid the mountains low while the town got high. So I don't know if he's still speaking from the perspective of the girl, but he's talking about the conversations that are going on in these bars. Back then, these were the places to be. This is probably where you get most of your like interactions with other people. And they're talking about it being beautiful out west, but also it's being demolished. Like there's a person here like excited to share their experiences out there, and he called it paradise, but it's being destroyed one step at a time. He said somebody laid the mountains low while the town got high, and that's just replacing the nature with the settlements. Next verse he said, and then the chilly winds blew down across the desert, through the canyons of the coast to the Malibu, where the pretty people play, hungry for power to light their neon way and give them things to do. So he's really talking about this idea of manifest destiny and westward expansion. He starts off on the East Coast and people thinking about moving westward. The natives already moved out or were moved out, trying to find areas where they're still free. And then he talks about being at the Great Divide, which is way far west. And now he's talking about being in Malibu, so you're finally on the West Coast. And the people here are superficial and they're just looking for entertainment. The three reasons for expanding westward were God, glory, and gold. And I think he'll get more into that in the later verses. Next verse he says, some rich men came and took the land, nobody caught them, put up a bunch of ugly boxes, and Jesus people bought them, and they called it paradise, the place to be. They watched the hazy sun sinking in the sea. So I didn't say this word for word because YouTube is kind of finicky about certain words and they'll demonetize you, so I'm just being careful. But he's talking about how people extracted all the wealth from the land, definitely in unethical ways, and they built these big cities so that they could profit off of them. Now, I think he may be talking about missionaries here. He said Jesus people bought them, the ugly boxes. If you know history, you know that Christians established a lot of institutions in this country. So I think that's what he's referring to here. Next verse he says, you can leave it all behind and sail to Lahaina just like the missionaries did so many years ago. They even brought a neon sign, Jesus is coming. They brought the white man's burden down, brought the white man's reign. So here he's talking about, I guess, like American crusades, missionaries under the guise of Christianity, kind of forcing people to convert. And I think he's kind of talking about slavery here as well. During the time period he's referring to, even slaves were called the white man's burden. So through the transatlantic slave trade, slaves were brought here against their will, and they were still known as the white man's burden. And then he said it brought the white man's reign. So I guess that's just colonialism in general. So there's multiple things he's kind of addressing here. Next verse he says, who will provide the grand design? What is yours and what is mine? Because there is no more new frontier, but we have got to make it here. We satisfy our endless needs and justify our bloody deeds in the name of destiny and in the name of God. So I think he's saying here, like, who is gonna run the country? Who is gonna own everything? Who gets to divvy up, whose is whose and what's is what's? Just like the Native Americans who were here first have been relegated to like reservations and things like that. They just didn't have the power to stop themselves from being taken over. And he's saying here that every piece of land here that was previously untouched has now been touched and owned and, distributed in a sense. And this goes back to the three reasons for like westward expansion: God, gold, and glory. People under the guise of Christianity fulfilled their selfish desires. Really what they wanted was the riches and the glory for, conquering things. And in order to have immunity, they would say, this is all for God. This is God told me to do this. And that was definitely not the case. Last verse I'll go over, he says, and you can see them there on Sunday morning and stand up and sing about what it's like to be up there. They call it paradise. I don't know why you call someplace paradise. Kiss it goodbye. So he's saying here, like, the descendants of those people that did those evil things under the guise of Christianity still exist. And in a sense, they kind of still do the same thing. They pretend to be people that follow God, yet their actions do the opposite. They wrongfully use God to justify slavery. They wrongfully use God to justify colonialism. They wrongfully use God to justify assimilation. So he's saying evil people were able to escape by using God in an evil way. And this is why the Bible says, my people perish for a lack of knowledge. If you read the Bible for yourself and understand it, and don't rely on someone else telling you what it says, you will see that it couldn't possibly be used to justify these evil things. And he's also pointing out a trend here that when people call something paradise and they see that it's nice and pristine, they want to go take it over and turn it into whatever they want to turn it into. So he's saying that these people will do the same thing with the paradise that they refer to that's in heaven, which is really profound. Man, this is a very deep song. Great recommendation from you guys. If you guys have any suggestions, leave them down in the comments below. If you guys are new to the channel, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you enjoy the content. And I'll catch you guys on the flip.